JMU, James Madison University, deserves a playoff berth. Not playoff, my bad. A bowl berth this season. They're 9-0. They're top 25 in the AP poll. I think they're 21 right now. I'm not sure where they currently land in the playoff poll. They're probably in the 20s if they made it. They weren't there last week. Again, they're 9-0. This is their second year of moving from FCS to FBS. The NCAA, with how they're still governing college sports at all, is crazy to me. But the NCAA has a rule where for the first 2 years a team from the FCS moves to FBS, they cannot go to a bowl game. And last year, I think that JMU ended up having a pretty good record. And then this year so far, they're 9-0. They have huge wins over, like, I think they started the year against Quinn, if you can remind me. I think Virginia Tech, right? Oh, not
I
mistaken.
believe it was Virginia.
Virginia.
It was
Yes.
Virginia.
Okay. So they're 9-0. They beat at Virginia, at Troy, all these teams. Let me go back to last year as well. So sorry, guys. Ooh, they
While you're
have
doing that, I'll say that at Troy is a very impressive win.
yeah. And then last year, 8-3. They beat my Blue Raiders, Middle Tennessee State. They played Arkansas State, Georgia State. They played at Louisville, lost by 20. That's okay. They beat Coastal Carolina, and we know how good they've been. This team deserves to be in a bowl game. They're 9-0, one of only seven undefeated teams in all of college football right now. And the NCAA rules, which they've changed, if we don't remember that, they amended those going into this year, but it does not go into effect until 2027, where it does not require the 2 years anymore. I believe it's just a year. And so James Madison today, this is why I'm bringing it up today, Tuesday, November 7th, has petitioned the NCAA to potentially get into a bowl game. And me personally, guys, got to be a bowl game for James Madison. Got to be a bowl game. Quinn?
So when I've dealt with this firsthand in my personal life collegiately, where I attended college, we were not allowed to participate in postseason play in any sports because we had made a move from Division II to the FCS. I think it's stupid. Like in most cases, the rule doesn't even matter. Most teams are not going to win when they first move up in level, and in the cases where they do, I'm iffy on why they're not allowed to. Like, why are they not allowed to participate in postseason play? It doesn't make sense, especially in the case of James Madison this year. We're talking about a team that they've got a hard stretch. They've got App State left on their schedule. They got Coastal left on their schedule, and then more than likely a rematch with Troy on their schedule. So not like a super easy closeout as a Sun Belt team, but if they're to win out that stretch and be 13-0, and you told me this team beat a Power Five school, they beat Troy twice, who, if for those of you who don't remember, Troy finished ranked in the top 25 last year, and were Sun Belt Conference champions, and then they beat App State and Coastal, who are perennial like high end Group of Five teams as well. That is an impressive record, and they should be honestly. I don't know if they're ahead of Tulane or not, but we're talking about a team who could be the Group of Five representative in the New Year Six, and they're
Yeah,
not going to get to do it because of some like this is a team that may never be this good again.
right.
You never know with Group of Five teams how long they can hold their success, especially the ones that aren't like old American conference teams who are just as big as Power Five schools in terms of like alumni and facilities capabilities. I'm not saying they're like top tier like an SEC team, but they're much better than most Group of Fives. Referring to UCF, Houston, Cincinnati. I don't. Could you imagine if a handful of years ago Western Michigan wasn't allowed to finish off the row the boat season in the like they lost to Wisconsin, but if they wouldn't have been allowed to do that, go to the Cotton Bowl and at least compete, that's what we're dealing with James Madison. And I think it's wrong. I think they should be allowed to compete, and it's not just them. First year Conference USA member Jacksonville State, they're bowl eligible, and they're not going to go to a bowl game. I just think I think it's a disservice to the players on those teams. Like
Yeah.
that's who I feel for the most. The fans of the schools and getting to miss out on this opportunity, like the alumni of James Madison missing out on a chance to go watch the I don't know Cotton Bowl probably against whoever they get allotted against. They're going to miss that chance. And then those players, you play at James Madison and you get a chance to go play it in Arlington in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, and you're not going to get to do that because of some obligatory rule that's really, in my mind, outdated.
Yeah.
That's my piece on it.
Yes. So, Chase, to answer your question at the beginning, they are not ranked at all in the playoff rankings.
Okay.
And Tulane is ranked 20th in the AP, James Madison 21st. So neck and neck with Tulane, and like you mentioned, they do have a chance to be, the best Group of 5 team in the country. And I think that's something that only one team can say every year. And we can sit here and say that, yeah, James Madison is better than Tulane. But if they can't play in a bowl game to show for it, that's baloney. I do think the rule is outdated. Now, I understand, if we're talking about a rule where you go from FBS down to FCS, all right. But that's not even a rule. Make that make sense. It doesn't to me. The NCAA is so stupid, and they have been for years, and we know this. They have rules that make no sense, but just so that they can assert power or whatever they want to say. But again, Quinn, I think you kind of touched on exactly what I wanted to say. It sucks for the players, man. It does. I mean, because they're putting together one heck of a season, but they're not going to really have anything to show for it besides, an undefeated record potentially at the end of the year. And that letter that was sent to the NCAA, I think, embodies not only their success in football, but they have also been one of the top schools, if not the top school, in the conference academically.
Yeah.
And I think that says something too to the institution that James Madison is, and it's not just that they're just trying to build football up to receive cred. Like, they're really doing it the right way. They have a very good athletic program. They have an even better academic program.
Yeah.
And a lot of schools, I hate to say it, but a lot of schools in that conference can't say that. I mean, there's a reason why James Madison came in and is winning all these awards academically. So, I think they should be rewarded for that. I think the NCAA should grant this waiver because, there's only them and James Madison left really this year that this rule hurts. And if it's going to be wiped away next year, why not just do a waiver this year and be good to go? Be fine with it. What?
Yeah.
I mean, is this their last little, attempt at power? I mean, I really don't understand. But it is bullcrap, and I 100% agree. They should definitely be allowed to play in a bowl game.
Yeah, and just adding one more thing is they kind of put here in this little message is that when they made up that rule from going to FCS to FBS, the college football playoffs weren't a thing yet. And so they didn't have that envision, like, hey, like if you come up to FBS, you couldn't compete in the playoffs. And so that's what James Madison is kind of hoping on too, is that they can kind of get back in there because to get into a New Year's Six bowl, and then also just because this is kind of just an outdated rule, like both of these guys have mentioned. And so I think we're all in agreement here that James Madison has to be a competitor this year for a bowl game, a great bowl game. So make sure to let us know what you guys think, if they should be bowl eligible, or if you like the rule. I mean, that's a big thing too. Some people are in favor of the rule, and I'd love to hear feedback on why you like it.
The only people that's in favor of this rule is they don't want their team to be jumped by somebody that's coming up into the FBS. Let's just
okay.
There's no way that you can be against this rule for a legitimate reason other than you're scared. If you're in a conference, you're scared.
Sun Belt Conference coming to show out. Going to talk to you, Freddie, in the comments.
I mean, come on. I'm here for it. I mean, how can a school come in 2 years be undefeated and win all your academic awards too? They're scared. That's all it is.
Right.
Because think about it. I mean, it is a lot of money for these schools if they make a New Year's Six bowl. I mean, a lot of money.
That's another thing is like they're going to miss out on all that money if they don't go to New Year's. Even if they go to a regular bowl game, that's a lot of money they're missing out on.
That's right.
Hey,